definitely has that sugary smell that I like a lot.
I think that would get my family stamp of approval.
You can kind of smell like the caramelness.
Another one of those iconic sort of southern smells.
This brings me back to almost baby. Yes, baby.
Oh, okay. Smells like popcorn. That is perfect. I'm also adding that to my life.
The sauna house. This is something I would definitely see over there in that space.
Okay, yes, lavender, but not like a smack in the face.
This is an amazing holiday scent.
Even tapioca. I love this.
I want to eat that. I can't eat that. I can't eat that.
Almost reminds me of the white birch. Having a nice coffee, the nice croissants.
Very positive way. This is good. I like it.
The fall girlies are gonna love this one.
Hello, everyone.
Everybody, thanks for coming out again today.
Hi, I'm Dana,
I am Kevin.
and we are here with the second part of our fall and holiday fragrance line. There was a two-parter, a little bit different this time, but this one is themed around baking memories bright.
Baking memories bright.
I think that is adorable. So this, I would say, is kind of like half gourmand, baking heavy, and then the other half are more kind of nostalgic and comforting scents.
Yeah,
I
it
would say.
really, I think, celebrates tradition and nostalgia, and you get a lot of that. I think a lot of people resonate, that gourmands resonate with a lot of people in that way. We find them very nostalgic. But we also have some, it's not a purely gourmand launch. And a lot of people, a lot of you out there who, who watched our last live or came to our event or tested some of these fragrances since then, I think some of the feedback was we want more gourmands, and we've been silently waiting to do this because we have so many gourmands on deck, and I'm one of those people. Like the last launch, I think it's fantastic, but I always have a soft spot for gourmand fragrances. One of these in particular, because it's just, again, very nostalgic, reminds me of my childhood. But it's not a purely gourmand launch either. I mean, it's very nostalgic. We have a lot. We have one or two in here that are a little bit more green and earthy as well. But it really all ties into that comfort and nostalgia, and really it's the fall and winter holidays.
Very, very true. And we do have them in some soap as well. So any of you soap makers out there, you can kind of see how they react in a clear and opaque base. Very excited to add more and more information for you guys so you can make your decisions.
Absolutely. We've been doing more soap making in the lab. Big shout out to Nicole, one of our lab techs. She does a ton of work on our soap and bath and body. And so we have some soaps here, as any of you seasoned soap makers will know, with a heavy gourmand launch, you get a lot of vanilla. So that vanilla does tend to impact the color of your soap. So we thought it was a nice touch to bring these out and let you guys see some of the color shifts that you can expect when working with these fragrances in soaps. I'm more of a candle guy myself, which is more forgiving in terms of the colors, but we wanted to make sure we're capturing this for you soap makers as well.
And of course, we will be giving some away. We will give away 3 kind of collections of this. So there are some giveaway rules before we get started. The link should be in the description of the video, so you can enter at any time. You only need to enter once. So you can go ahead and please just make sure that you are entering with a valid email address, because that is how we will contact you to send your fragrances your way.
Yeah, I mean,
All
fall
right.
and gourmand lovers are not going to want to miss this one.
All right, so let's get started. I love the concept of this first one, but I am not familiar with its source material. Kevin, I think this one may have to be led by you.
That's fair. I was super excited for this fragrance. I think a lot of people, we've had a lot of requests for banana. We get a lot of requests for banana fragrances in general. I would still like to see a pure banana at some point, perhaps a blending element. But that's just me. I love banana flavoring. I love banana fragrances. I know it's often polarizing. People make fun of me for it, but this one, banana pudding parfait, and it's excellent. Not only does it have that great banana top note, but it's got the cream, vanilla, marshmallow, pie crust, very heavy on the sugar notes. It's super sweet. It's delectable. It's mouth-watering. I grew up eating banana pudding, like banana pudding with vanilla wafers, and this, to me, captures that really well. As you can see on the chart there on our fragrance wheel, it's purely a gourmand fragrance. I mean, almost every note in here is a gourmand. Your vanillas, your marshmallows really help to balance out that banana. I think a lot of folks may, if you're not a banana fan, this one might make you a little bit more hesitant, but I urge you to give it a try. because it's balanced out really, really well. It's not just a pure banana as much as I would like it to be. It is a very well-rounded bakery fragrance. So if you love banana pudding and parfaits in general, like I do, this is an excellent fragrance.
I do love banana myself, but I do want to say some feedback we've gotten so far, because we did have a little in-person showroom event. So anyone local to Durham, keep an eye out for those, because we love meeting you and kind of having a chat a little bit based on what you think of the fragrances before they go out. A lot of the feedback we got from the banana pudding parfait was that, one, it was very kind of true to what people would assume banana pudding smells like, which is
Can
great.
confirm.
I've never had it. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I wish we would have brought a bowl for you today.
I know. I wish I was just here, kind of. That's the next live. But there is also for me, a big difference between the banana pudding parfait in wax and straight out of the bottle. I think
Yes.
straight out of the bottle, it is a little bit off-putting. Off-putting.
See what you did there.
It was a little too bright, a little banana Laffy Taffy right out of the bottle. Please try this in your product before making the final call.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, banana is very much a top note. So when you smell it out of bottle, even on the blotter strip, you tend to get more of the banana than the other notes, which to me is important. You don't lose the banana in the candle for you banana lovers out there, but it does tend to round, as many fragrances do, round out once they're in the wax. And the hot throw on this to me was just delectable. I love it.
Nice. And it does, unfortunately, I'm wearing white. There we go. It does kind of discolor
today.
in melt and pour soap.
Yes.
We are also actively working on more cold process soap notes as well. That just takes a little bit more time to go through that testing.
Yeah, but there is a correlation there. I mean, if it's turning this brown in a cold process soap or in a melt and pour soap, you can expect it to likely turn a similar shade in cold process as well. It's not one-to-one, but this is a good, just kind of a good layout so you can see how these fragrances will behave. And the heavy vanilla in the banana pudding does make it turn. And that's hard to combat, but especially I was speaking with a customer recently who embraces that. I mean, they sell most of these in the fall, and they see that the darker brown color is not necessarily a negative when you're selling something during the fall holidays.
And this is great for a very kind of like moving towards cold weather holidays. I know a lot of people make dessert themed or based candles.
Yep.
I think this is a great option for that, because I don't find a lot of good banana candles out there.
No, they're hard to find. As you mentioned earlier, they often are just pure banana Laffy Taffy, which
Still like it.
I'm banana stance.
I'll eat it.
I love it. But this one I think it has a much more universal appeal to it, in that it's just a really well-rounded bakery fragrance. It is approved for candles, soap, lotion, room sprays, perfume, and diffusers. So you can this one you could use across your line. You got to worry about you got to be conscious of the discoloration, but in terms of safety, you can use this one across the board.
And I do want to shout out now, we have this handy little guide. We will put up a usage guide at the end as well. You can take a screenshot, take a picture, if that helps your decision making. So as long as we list them here, they are safe to use in all of those products.
And all that information, as well as additional details, will be on the product pages.
Yep, as soon as they come out, which is soon.
Very soon.
All right, nice. We are moving now away a little bit from the gourmand into the forest, which I love that we don't have a very, very Christmassy based fall holiday kind of woodsy or tree scent in this line, because I feel like we have a lot of great ones.
Yeah, agreed.
These are a little bit more niche, but again, that coziness and comfort really come through in these next two fragrances. But I am very partial to Foraged Red Currant.
Yeah, this one is an excellent fragrance as well, and I immediately people I think are going to look at our previous red currant. Anybody that used our red currant in the past, this is an excellent alternative to that. I think it adds a certain depth and complexity to the previous red currant. You get red currant, green leaves, peppercorn, some blueberry, blackberry. But the base is it's more mossy and woody and ambery, so I think it adds in a lot more of just an earthy base. The original had some floral notes to it. I keep saying the original; it's not a direct replacement, but it is. It's reminiscent of
I think
that
it's better.
fragrance. And that was one that we did get some feedback on. I think this is for anyone that really liked that red currant before. This one takes it to a whole nother level. I personally love the woody base. This launches very much for me, in that it's like I love gourmands, I love woody. And like ambery bases, so this whole line is great for me. But that one, yeah, I think red currant, the original compared to our other red currant, it's just much more complex and earthy.
I agree, and I do think it's a little bit more true to life or a little bit more natural, like
Agreed.
heavy on the foraged, and it's not quite as tart
Yes.
as a lot of red currant notes can be
Yeah.
in my experience.
see
I
that.
do think that nobody should kind of be scared of the fruit notes in here because
Agreed.
it is balanced out by that kind of greenery.
Agreed. When you look at the notes, you would think this is a fruity fragrance, which I'm not saying it's not. It definitely has those fruity notes, but it doesn't hit you as a pure fruity tart fragrance.
Very
It
true.
is. It's more complex. It is more balanced, and I do attribute that to the green and earthy base notes.
Absolutely.
This one more forgiving in soap. Of the whole line, this is the one that produces the least amount of color in the soap. So this, if you're, and it's also I think just a really good soap fragrance. Like I would walk around smelling like that. That's a good soap fragrance. It is soap safe. Soap safe. Obviously, all of these are candle safe, but this one too is soap, lotion, room spray, and perfume safe. Unfortunately, is not approved for reed diffusers.
Totally fine. But it is a little more berry forward right out of the blotter for me, but not in a bad way.
No, and I think the green, the moss comes out really well on the blotter as well. But I think again in the wax still mellows even more, and those notes really start to combine and mellow out and give you a well-rounded fragrance.
Big fan of that. Yeah. I think you get a pretty accurate description of it straight out of the bottle, but
Yeah.
it's a little fruitier. Not bad though.
Yeah, you're bound to always get more of those top notes when you're either smelling out a bottle or even on the blotter. So it's just something to keep in mind. Blotter's a great way to get started and to get an initial impression of that fragrance, but you should keep in mind that you do tend to get more of those lighter top notes coming off the strip more readily than the middle and base notes.
And performs beautifully so far.
Yeah, beautiful
And
soap. So this is an example of a clear base and white base. So the more translucent one obviously is the clear base, and we want to show you the way that it can behave in both types of bases.
And always test your
Always
specific
test.
recipe.
Always.
Ooh, okay. The next one, we are still in the forest. It's kind of giving like where Hansel and Gretel's like witch cabin would be.
See that.
It's very, very calming though, so maybe minus the danger. But the next one is Hinoki Cypress.
This is excellent as well, and I think probably a standout amongst the other ones, and that this is going to be the least gourmand of this launch. I'm really excited about it. Hinoki Cypress is been used for a very long time. It has a lot of roots in Japanese culture. It's the wood itself. The Japanese cypress has a slight citrus smell to it. So and you feel that come through in this fragrance. I mean, top notes of ozone, eucalyptus, white tea, which you get right off the blotter when you start to smell it. But the cypress and pine in the middle really dominate. I think it's more of a winter fragrance than most of these other ones, with cedar, juniper, and amber in the base. So it's got again a little bit of that ambery woodiness to the base. But you mentioned pine and cypress earlier. I think of all these, this is the one that leans more in that direction. It's a little bit more wintry, a little bit more of that nice pine.
Yeah, could be for holiday, does not have to be.
No, I would use this year round without question. I mean, this is a very well-rounded fragrance.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. You could also blend this very easily to push it in either direction. For almost every season, I would say, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people would be inclined to add a little bit more woodiness or amber to the base. I mean, blending elements would be great for that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to play around with that a little bit, and I think amber specifically would go really well. Maybe even a little smokiness. I think like maybe some smoke element would add a really nice touch to this as well. This one is approved for all the applications we mentioned earlier, so candle, soap, lotion, room spray, perfume, and diffusers. So another excellent one to add if you're looking for a fragrance that can go across your whole product line and behaves fairly well in soap. A little bit more yellow than the Foraged Red Currant, especially in a clear base. You're going to see a little bit more of that yellow color come out. The white base is just a little off-white, but still pretty forgiving in terms of soap color.
Yeah, and it is approved for all uses that we currently list. We will also at the end pop up a whole chart that shows what they are approved for in all of those products.
Yeah, so don't feel the need to scribble notes on all this. We will again be reiterating all of this information. We'll give you a full visual here at the end.
Absolutely. But I think now it is time to give some away.
Excellent.
So we are going to give away our first set of Baking Memories Bright. So if you have not entered the giveaway yet, be sure to do so. I believe the link is in the comments and in the description. So go ahead. I'll give you a minute to do that. We have a little countdown. We have so much new technology.
I know, it's amazing.
Big fan.
Shout out to everybody else that helps with these as well. You know, people come in, they see us talking, but they may not realize how much goes on behind the scenes. So shout out to Casper, who is helping us behind the computer here, and everybody else on the marketing team that has helped put together the visuals, graphics, and just make sure that we get this thing running smoothly. And honestly, I'm impressed. It's the second one I've done recently, and I'm still impressed.
We just show up.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. You've done a lot of work.
But we don't have to worry about any of the technical
Yeah.
stuff, which is great.
All right, we are ready with our first giveaway winner. Who is it? Blake.
Blake,
Congratulations, Blake. We are going. I have to do the jazz
all right,
hands.
chat, thanks.
We will be sending those out to you ASAP. So you will likely receive them before they launch. Definitely let us know what you think about them.
Please do.
All right, we are now moving back to the gourmand
We are.
with a pear fragrance, and I'm a big pear fan. I'm also a big cheese fan. So this works for me on multiple levels. We are here with Pear Mascarpone. Beautiful. Fun fact, one of our photographer's mothers actually baked that for us so we could take that photo.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's fun. It
Thank-
looks great.
Thank you, Monica. It was delicious.
Yeah, it is sort of a specific image need, right?
Mhm.
Well, that looks great. And I think it captures the fragrance really well.
Yeah.
Again, we have a couple other pear fragrances, so
Mhm.
this isn't our first take on pear. But it is different than a lot of the others. Particularly, I use brandied pear a lot in the
I love
past,
that
which
one.
has more spice to it. This one, very heavy on the pear and apple, especially in the top notes. So when you
Mhm.
smell that blotter, you're going to immediately get the pear and the apple notes. But then it's kind of grounded a bit by some sugar, some violet. There's a little bit of floral to it, which I think is nice. It's honeysuckle, so it's a sweeter floral, which I think just blends with those citrus or with the pear and apple notes really well. But then it gets pulled down into the gourmand with the cream, caramel, and praline in the base. So it makes this for a really unique, well-rounded fragrance. And one that when I've heard the name, I wasn't quite sure. I don't think I'm as much of a cheese lover as you are.
Few people are.
But it's a really, really nice fragrance. I think of all the pears, like I said, I used brandy pear for a really long time, but I think I'm switching to this one.
Ooh.
I like the depth and this kind of gourmand twist on it. It's not just a fruity fragrance.
Them's fighting words. And I will say, straight out of bottle, I am seeing some questions about how sweet this one is. Out of the bottle, it is sweeter. You are going
Yes.
to get that pear and apple top note directly to your face immediately. It balances out and mellows a little bit in whatever product you'll be using it in, where you kind of get those base notes of that cream and the caramel. But I don't think that the caramel adds to the sweetness. I think it actually helps round it out as like a more dessert.
Yeah, it pulls down the
Base
tartness
candle,
a
yeah.
bit. So instead of being a tart, bright fragrance that you tend to get off the blotter and out of bottle, it does pull it down into much more of a gourmand, a creamy gourmand.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
But
me too.
straight out of bottle, it is going to be a little. It'll seem a little bit sweeter or a little fruitier.
Yes, yeah, and I think that's going to be true with most of these and most fragrances in general, because those volatile top notes tend to hit you right when you smell off the blotter. But again, this is a great one to blend if you do find that it's a little more tart than what you're looking for. I mean, mix it with some vanilla. We even could spin this one maybe a little bit more earthy if you wanted to. I think maybe like some cedar or sandalwood could go well with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as it is, it would work really well just on its own too.
Absolutely.
And
I
another
like it a
one that
lot.
is more seasonal, like you can make an argument for seasonality, but absolutely could be a year-round as well. I think that's true of most of these, honestly.
I agree. And they are very kind of warm and inviting fragrances.
Yeah.
But there's nothing I think polarizing about them that you're going to automatically. No, that is a Christmas candle.
Right.
So you could make it though if you wanted to. Is this reed diffuser approved? Yes, it is. So I got it right this time. It can be used in all of these applications, and once they launch, we will also list our recommended usage on the product pages.
Yeah, so we're right now. So today we're just kind of giving you the categories. The exact percentages for each category may be defined by IFRA and limitations. So we're just some of them may be up to 25% of diffuser, some may be less. So just always make sure you look at the IFRA sheet or the information on the product page to get your maximum for your application. But in terms of being approved for that application, this one is across the board.
Yeah, perfect. I love when that happens.
Me too.
And it is good to have different kind of products within your line that are the same fragrance. Not
Yes.
everyone can burn candles. A room spray is great. Reed diffuser for kind of that passive scenting of your space. So I love when that checks out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I like to combine applications sometimes. Not only, like you said, not everyone can burn candles, so in dorms, apartments, reed diffusers are really popular. People with pets like to have reed diffusers as well. But they also perform differently. You know, you light a candle, you got to give it some time before you get that full melt pool and a really strong throw out of it. So combining a candle with a room spray or with a reed diffuser often gives you some not only more fragrance immediately, but just sort of different types of fragrance in the home and products for your line because people are looking for different things. Now, in terms of soap, this one did turn pretty brown. So this, again, it's over there. It's kind of in the same territory
Yeah, I don't know if
as
I'd.
Banana Pudding Parfait, in that it does get pretty deep brown in soap. But again, not necessarily a bad thing. Just something you gotta pivot and just run with it.
Yeah. It's up to you. The next one, I don't know if it's super gourmand for me, but it is very comforting. And this was heavily, heavily requested. Y'all have been looking for a rice scented fragrance, rice milk, excuse me, and oats. All of these kind of comforting milk as well has been heavily requested, and all of these things, rice milk in general, has been trending recently. I expect that to continue.
Agreed.
So we have an answer.
We do, and you're right. We have a lot, not only customer requests internally here, but just trend reports. We see a lot of growth when it comes to rice, especially with as a flavor, but also a fragrance. So we do have we have a lot of data to support this one. And I think this one though, the name is like, when I first hear rice milk and oats, this isn't quite what I imagined. Like this, it is such a complex fragrance. Like there's a lot more going on to it, with it than just rice milk and oats. But I'm very excited about it. This one did a little bit better also in soap in terms of the color, but I would use this as a soap. This is a really, really nice fragrance that is it's just a cozy, comforting blend. It's very creamy, got a lot of rice, milk, nutmeg, and the top's a little bit of spice to it. But the oat coconut, I think, comes through pretty heavily in it, but a touch of smoke as well, and then cream also in the middle, and cedar or sandalwood and vanilla in the base. So those cream, coconut, and vanilla elements make it very gourmand. But it's also it's more bright than I would expect. Like it's got a vibrance to it that I really like.
Yeah, I do think that this, for me personally, is something I would use in like bath and body care.
Yeah.
For sure. It is so soothing
It
smelling.
is. It's very soothing, very comforting, very nostalgic. I can't quite pinpoint why it's nostalgic. It's one of those fragrances that hits you and it's like it takes you back, but I can't quite pinpoint why. I just really, really like it. The only application this one's not approved for is diffusers, but you can make a perfume out of it. You can do room sprays, lotions, soaps, candles, just no diffusers. And again, a little bit more forgiving in the soaps. A little bit of a orange color to a clear base. And it's kind of a tan so that's this one here.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. It does impart some color, not as drastically as some of the others. And again, I think it's a killer soap fragrance.
I agree. I think I may have smelled something like this, like in like an oatmeal bath or like a spa treatment type of application. Really, really like that. Big fan. Big fan.
Let's see that again.
Yeah. And I will shout out our resident candle scientist, Todd. If you see Todd in the comments, he is there to help us answer some more technical questions that you might have. So thank you, Todd.
Yes, thank you, Todd. Todd has all the answers.
Yeah, truly. And if he doesn't, he will find them faster than anyone I've ever seen. So rice milk and oats. Yeah, I think that is a contender for one that I may add for sure.
It's in my top 3 here, for sure. And again, could very much be a year-round fragrance. This one is not pigeonholed into any season. I think it has you can definitely take that seasonal spin to it, but it could be a year-round as well. It's a tough one, I think, for people to pinpoint when you first smell it, what all is going on there, because there is so many notes that you might not expect.
And you can spin that a lot of different ways in terms of branding or fitting it into your line. You don't have to be married to that name.
You don't, and you could also blend it. I think it would be a great contender for blending. I love it the way that it is, but because it has such a variety of notes to it, I think you could approach it from many different angles in terms of blending.
For sure. And the next one I think might be not polarizing, but I think the people looking for a fragrance like this are going to love it, and the people not looking for a fragrance like this are just going to pass it right by. I'm not one of those people. I'm always looking for butter. So the next fragrance is salted honey butter.
This this is a true gourmand, right? It's very sweet, it's very gourmandy, little salty. You have sea salt in the top, along with the honey and caramel, some various spices to accompany the butter and pecan in the middle, but then with that really heavy vanilla base. It doesn't strike me as butter right off the bat. It's very salty, it's sweet. You get the honey, the butter is definitely there. But it's not. I think it's grounded really well with the vanilla.
Yeah, it's definitely a themed butter, and one that I think has a lot of uses. I think also
Absolutely.
in terms of blending something like a warm croissant
I was going to
or
say the same thing.
adding some either sweetness or some spice to that, because savory notes have been on the rise. There's been a very big demand for more savory based candles, room sprays, things like that. And I think
Yes.
this works, but it still has that touch of sweetness, so you don't get that like oily butter.
Yeah, it's a
kinda
very
feel.
good sweet salty combo, and
mhm.
it's not pure. It's not purely either one. Um,
I have not smelled this burning yet.
It's great. Yeah, the hot throw on it, very good. I'm a big fan of this one as well. Again, this is a true gourmand, which you do see in your soaps as well. I mean, because of the heavy vanilla in this one, you will see some discoloration. But it is soap approved and can make a really, really nice smelling soap. To me, this is more of a candle fragrance. This is more of a home fragrance. A little bit more niche of a fragrance. I don't know if it would be as popular as a soap, but it is there if you want to. It's absolutely a possibility.
Yeah, and when kind of talking about butter scents or popcorn, things like that, more like niche themed butter scents, I think that this is a very good standalone, full butter product.
It is. It absolutely is. But I'm glad you brought up like warm croissant. I think it could blend really well too. I think it could be either the base that you add to, or even something that you add in a smaller amount to an existing fragrance, just to up that kind of sweet saltiness.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of sweet, we are coming to what might be my favorite gourmand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be. Because I'm not as big a gourmand fan as you are. But I did not think I would like this one as much as I do.
You know, I'm kind of surprised to hear that too, because you're generally not a big pumpkin fan.
I know.
And while this one isn't pumpkin, it's not too far from it. So this is sweet potato souffle.
Ooh.
This one I love. I mean, you would expect me to love this one. Maple, cinnamon, sugar, nutmeg. So it has a spice, a good level of spice in the top. What I will say is it's less spicy than you might expect.
Agreed.
So middle of sweet potato, pumpkin, vanilla, and then cream and pie crust in the base. And I think especially if you smell it off a blotter, you're going to get more of that spice right off the bat. And based on that note breakdown, you might expect it to be spicier than it is.
It's not.
It's not. It is a really, really good gourmand. Again, it's similar to Banana Pudding Parfait and salted honey butter, in that I consider this to be a true gourmand. When you look at it on the fragrance wheel, every note hits that gourmand category. But again, and I've said this over and over about a lot of these, but it's just really well balanced. It's complex. It's not just one thing. And it's different than our existing pumpkin fragrances, I feel.
Absolutely. I feel like this has a whisper of pumpkin to it, but that sweet potato is the star here, and I think that is why I like it so much.
It makes sense.
Because it is straight out of bottle. I actually don't like it.
Really? Because
like at all.
do you find it to
At
be
all.
like too spicy?
No, there's like a sting to it. But I love it in the candle.
Yeah, I can see that. It is distinctly different on the blotter than it is. It's almost a little more buttery too on the blotter
Yeah.
than it is in the candle.
This is a full baked souffle. That I feel is like more the raw ingredients.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good
I love
description.
this,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's excellent, and I think it may be compared to, say, like our pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
It's similar in notes to the pumpkin pie. I think it's much more complex than that is.
Agreed.
But it's also lighter on the cinnamon, and then the spices in general. It's not as spicy as you get with a lot of other pumpkin fragrances, which is more my style. I don't love a ton of spice. I love gourmands, which are often paired with spice.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, this one's not lacking spice. It has that little bit of spice to brighten it up, but it's not nearly as spicy as, say, like a pumpkin pie.
That is comfort food.
Yes, absolutely.
That is, I'm gonna sit down and eat the whole thing.
Another thing I ate a ton as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up, like some of my favorite desserts were banana pudding and sweet potato soup. I'm from the South. I can't help it. But it's like these two are very, very nostalgic for me.
Someone did mention that this is very Southern comfort heavy.
It is.
I
yeah.
agree.
I didn't choose them.
I
I just
agree.
test them, so don't blame me. But I do. I'm here for it.
You know, let's sneak in a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Real
Almost
quick.
forgot about that.
I did as well. Let's sneak it. We are going to give away because I see some of y'all are ready for these. So let's give one away. If you haven't entered yet, go right ahead and do that. And then we will get to the very last one and go over some of the usage for these and get to some of those questions.
Yes.
And then we'll give a third one away. You know, why not?
Why not?
Why not? Nice. Yeah,
Everybody
I
loves
love
free stuff.
It's me. I love it.
I do too.
I am seeing some
How could
really,
you not?
honestly, I'm seeing really good comments that people are very excited for this, despite the gourmand angle. So I love kind of converting people
Yeah.
towards the gourmand because I myself am a new member.
It's my job here is to convert you to
Yeah.
the gourmand side with the rest of us.
I'm on the cusp.
Yeah,
I think.
which I think why this is a good launch because it is very heavy gourmand and there's a handful of these that I consider to be just true gourmands.
For sure.
But then you have others that break the mold. Hinoki Cypress, rice milk and oats really break that mold. They're not they're gourmand in a sense, but can take different angles as well. Salted honey butter, pure gourmand. You're not getting around that. But I like this launch a lot, and so we give away so we can get on to the next one.
Yeah, who is the lucky winner? Let's see. Katrina! Congratulations, Katrina! I will never not do jazz hands.
That's okay. I do it because you do.
I
so
can't.
It's peer pressure.
Oh, nice. Katrina, I will get those out to you as soon as I can, and always let us know what you think of them. You don't have to, but, you know.
But we love to hear about
Yeah.
it. We love feedback, positive or negative. We love to hear what people think about what we have going on. And we've launched a lot of fragrances this year, as I'm sure you guys have noticed. We have put out more fragrances this year than we have in previous years. And we really want to hear feedback on that. We want to know how we're doing. We want to know if these are working in your applications. And we love hearing from people in general.
Truly.
So if you're ever in the area, come out and come see us in person at some point because we can talk about these fragrances all day long and give you as good of an impression as we can, but nothing beats coming out and smelling them yourself. So we have our showroom open Monday through Friday, and we do these events when we launch our fragrances. So please come out and see us. We love seeing you.
Come by and sniff. The last one we have is a little bit different as well, for me anyway. I don't necessarily want to eat this one, but I do want to wear it.
I can see that.
There are gourmand notes here, but for me this is a little bit more Bath & Body forward. It does smell lovely in a candle as well. It is whipped lavender cream.
Yeah, see, this one to me is an interesting take on a gourmand. It reminds me of a rose cookie that I had one time, which was surprisingly good. But generally something floral gourmands are something I generally don't gravitate to. But I do like this one a lot. I mean, you have... Sorry, I haven't let you smell it yet. There you go.
It's been a minute.
It's I think lavender is one of those notes that is a little bit polarizing for some people. But this is a fun take on it. Because lavender generally has a pretty strong bite. You know, like it has
Sure.
it tends to dominate. This one, I think the cream notes. So first we have some marine in the top note. It adds a little bit of saltiness to it, as well as some green leaves. So it's like the name I feel like doesn't quite convey how complex this is. It has that green. It has those kind of salty marine notes to it. But lavender, gardenia in the base or in the middle, like you would expect, with some vanilla, musk, and a little bit of amber in the base. And I think that amber and musk help to transform this one and get it out of the realm of your kind of traditional lavender fragrance and really take it to a different level.
This is so cozy. This is curl up with a good book on a rainy day type of cozy.
Absolutely. Very comforting, very cozy.
A lot of the feedback we got from the in-person kind of reactions as well was that this is like a baby lavender. This is like
Yes.
lavender light. If you do not like the medicinal turn lavender can take, this is a great starting place. A lot of people don't like lavender, and that's fine. It is what it is. It is strong. It is powerful. We love her. but it's not for everyone. This, I think, is much more approachable.
100%. Yeah, I mean that's my thought as well. Is that those gourmand notes do ground it in a way, and the musk and the amber help to balance out the lavender. And you see that in other fragrances as well. You know, like oak moss and amber has a heavy lavender note that is really grounded with the moss and amber notes, and you get a little bit of that here too. Now this is a much lighter, more comforting, kind of nostalgic fragrance than something like oak moss and amber. But in terms of the way that those other notes affect the lavender, I think it's fairly similar. This one, a little behind the scenes info. This was originally called Bedtime Stories, which I think is a very appropriate name for. We went more literal on this one and less of that sort of nostalgic name, but it's appropriate. I mean, this to me is very comforting. It's like you said, it's curl up with a good book. This is
I love that.
It's a very
bedtime
cozy
stories.
fragrance.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm glad to see some lavender fans in the chat here.
Oh, you said
So
not
this
everybody loves
is-
lavender, so they had to come out and prove you wrong.
Yeah, I have like, they're gunning for me now. Sorry, everybody.
All the pumpkin and lavender people are coming for you.
I didn't know.
But to be
I do
perfectly
think it's
honest,
good.
I'm not a big lavender guy. Like this one, I generally don't gravitate to that type of fragrance, but this one is different to me. And it fits in this line pretty well. I think it bridges that gap of some of these others that are more earthy and more wintergreen, and whereas this one is it's kind of in the middle there. Like it's gourmand, but it's floral. It's like if you're somebody who likes lavender cookies, things like that. Like it's in that realm.
Like you said, florals in food are hard to do right.
They are.
When they're done well, they are so good. But any little imbalance there tends for a very unpleasant experience in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I do think that the lavender here is balanced extremely well, and I am a huge fan of that marine note in here.
Me too. And I think it makes it. I think a lot of people also see lavender as a more feminine note, whereas I wouldn't categorize this as a feminine fragrance.
No.
I think because of the vanilla musk amber in the base, it gives it a more universal appeal.
Yeah, and something like a white sage and lavender, that is on the complete opposite spectrum
Absolutely.
of what whipped lavender cream is there. And both are very good. I actually like both of those fragrances myself.
Yeah, they're just different. You know, same with oak moss and amber. Like the lavender can be used in so many different ways, and we've used it a lot in different ways. We've taken the more floral approach. We've taken the more earthy approach. Where I don't think we've ever really used it in a more gourmand, sweet setting like this. But that's not to say it's a pure gourmand, because unlike salt, honey butter, and sweet potato souffle, I wouldn't consider this a true gourmand. It's one that it's a little bit hard to pinpoint if you don't know what you're smelling, because there's just so much going on with it.
Yeah, and that can lend itself to being used in a lot of different ways. This is not specifically pigeonholed into one kind of thing or theme.
No.
I think that this could fit into a lot of different lines.
Absolutely. You could rename it. You could give it a fantasy name. You could take a different angle with it. I mean, there's so much going on there that it was a tough one to name. And I think I would love to hear people some more first impressions on it, like people that smell it before they know what the name is, because I think it's a little harder to describe.
We should do that. We should do some like blind smell testing
Yeah.
to see what y'all would name something.
Yeah, I agree.
think
Because
we
some of
should do
these
that.
and names are tricky. They tend to put things into
Names
a
are hard.
specific category, but smell is in itself, aromas in themselves are so subjective that it's tough to apply a name. So even if you're not a lavender person, again, I'm not a big lavender person, give this one a try. It's a very new take on lavender.
For sure. And I do think all of these would be kind of really good fall scents in general, because there just is a really, really good feeling about a lot of these. And that's a weird thing to say about fragrance, but it is so tied to, like you said, memory and nostalgia and things like that. These are so nice. You can absolutely pair them with our pumpkin jars. They're back. If you would like, for that little extra fall taste. But realistically, I could see all of these being year-round.
Agreed.
100%.
I could see them being blended. I could see them being renamed. They could be year-round fragrances. There's a lot going on here, and I think it's why the theme is really more. It's not just gourmand. This is a heavy gourmand launch, but it's really a nostalgic launch. There's a lot of just good. It really is just celebrating memory and comfort.
It's the memory part of baking memories bright.
Exactly.
And this does, I think, complete the fall holiday vibe from our first installment.
Absolutely.
So if you have come to the in-person events the first time and the second, this is now all of the fall holiday launch that we will have. I did see a few questions that we will get to as well, though.
Absolutely.
Because we do have some things coming up.
But yeah, I'm glad that this is now out because in the past month I've been just chomping at the bit to get to talk about these because that first one was great, but I feel like a fall launch should have a little bit more gourmand than I really see the last launch and this launch as just one big launch together. Yeah. We separated them out for various reasons, but I think you kind of need them both. If you want a well-rounded fall line, you would pick some from the May launch and this one.
So that would be the Once Upon a Holiday and Baking Memories Bright. So now it is time to answer some of these amazing questions that I've been seeing. And we are also going to give one more set away. Before we do that, I am going to ask that Casper pops up our really handy usage chart. Which
looks great. This is new,
I'm
guys.
so excited
Shout
about
this. Shout out to Julia and marketing for getting these illustrations done for us. I think it looks great. I'm a very visual guy. I'd rather see these images than read it on a spreadsheet.
Absolutely. And just to recap, we have banana pudding parfait, foraged red currant, hinoki cypress, pear mascarpone, rice milk and oats, salted honey butter, sweet potato souffle, and whipped lavender cream. And again, once these launch, we will give you all of those recommended usage informations. I'm glad y'all are loving the graphics. Julia drew those. She hand drew those.
She did a great job.
We have a great team here. They will be available soon, very soon, this month soon.
Yes.
Very soon. So look out if you have the newsletter or on our socials. We will announce them as soon as they're ready to go. But one more person is going to get them before then. So let's finish up that giveaway. 30 seconds to enter if you have not. And then again, just make sure you give us a valid email that you check, and we will get these out for you. Feel free to write us back. Let us know if you like them, if you don't like them. I love hearing it all.
Yeah, let us know. Drop a review on the site. Reach out to us on social. We love any feedback we can get.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, here we go. I know. I always get nervous.
I know, right?
Who is it going to be?
I'm always partly waiting for it to be you.
Nadia! I'm going to enter. I rigged it. I win all of them. Nadia T, congratulations.
Congratulations, Nadia.
I hope you like them. And you guys are really funny in the comments. It is not a grandma lavender.
It's not. No, it's not. But I mean, I can see how lavender in general would be classified in such a way, but this one absolutely is not.
Yeah. So for all of the questions, is it diffuser safe? Is it soap safe? Hopefully that chart will help you with those, because we know it can be a little daunting.
Yeah.
How to fit these into your line, what you need them to be. But all of these are some great questions. This is a question that I actually don't know the answer to. So Kevin, I think, may be able to answer this a little bit better. I have not smelled all of them burning.
I mean, it's a strong launch in general. Yeah. I think Hinoki Cypress to me, and a lot of this is a little bit subjective too, in that certain people are more sensitive to specific notes. But me personally, I felt the Hinoki Cypress very, very strong. Rice milk and oats also has a really good punch to it. I think sweet potato pumpkin scents in general are just strong, and then sweet potato souffle certainly does not disappoint. I don't think. I mean, I wouldn't say that any of them are weak. They're all strong in candles. I mean, part of the reason these get added to our line is through testing, specifically burn testing. So if it were weak, we wouldn't launch it. But in terms of ones that I think are extra strong, yeah, the Hinoki Cypress really cuts through. And I love sweet potato souffle.
It's so good. The whipped lavender cream might be more subtle.
I would call that one a little bit more subtle.
In some applications, but that is also because it is not super, super heavy on the lavender.
Yeah, it's just sort of the nature of the fragrance.
Wow. This is a really funny question. As a man, Kevin, what? How do you answer for this?
I feel like I should not answer that one.
So
I don't support this. No.
We do actually have, I think, some really good fragrances that you can make work for this theme.
Absolutely.
Thematically.
Absolutely. And I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Leather and Labdom.
Yes, and Uncharted.
Possibly also an excellent choice.
There are a few things you can do with this. There also might be a few things coming out a little bit later that you could do for that.
That too. Yeah.
hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah, this could be a blended elements project here, but starting with something like an Uncharted or a Leather and Labdom, I think would be a solid base for that.
Yeah.
And then it's just really what direction you want to take with it. Honestly, how you want to convey that theme.
Maybe. What would you like? What would you like us to have?
It's an excellent question. If we were to launch more blended
Yeah.
elements, what would you like them to be?
Hypothetically, should that be on the horizon? What are you looking for?
Like I said,
Maybe we'll find out soon.
I personally would like to see a banana element. I've been asking for it,
Yes.
and the fact that I want it means it'll probably never happen. But I want it, and but there, hopefully we'll have some more. We'd love to hear what you guys would like on that because there are infinite possibilities with blended elements. So we'd really drive the customer feedback really helps drive those decisions.
Absolutely. And you're never bothering us. When you write in on social, DM us, tag us and things, we definitely do want to know what you're looking for. So we're always happy to hear what that is and pass it on to the right people, like Kevin and Todd in the lab. This was a good question that I meant to get to before. I'm assuming this is for the Hinoki Cypress.
Yeah, I would
It's
think
different.
so.
It's
It is
very
absolutely different. It's Fraser Fir to me is a little on the sweeter side. I think it's kind of a sweet pine. Excellent fragrance. I mean, it is an absolute classic, which is why it's hard for me to compare it to anything because I just know Fraser Fir from a mile away. So Hinoki Cypress I think has more going on to it. It's more earthy, a little bit more complex. Where it's Fraser Fir leans heavier into the pine and spruce notes.
Yeah, and it is, I mean,
Not that that's a bad thing.
there's a reason Fraser Fir is our top seller,
Yeah.
not only for the holidays, but almost all year round. It is just that, it is that tree scent.
Yeah, I think that in a word, I would say this one's warmer. It's warmer than Fraser Fir. And I think like the kind of the cedar and the base to it gives it a warmer vibe, a more grounded vibe than whereas I think Fraser Fir's got a little bit more bite to it, a little bit more of like a sweet pine.
Yeah. These are all great. You guys have some really, really good suggestions. Not
I
Axe
can't read them.
body
You have to
spray.
tell me.
Yeah. So someone blends sweet tobacco and leather, which is really, really good.
That makes a lot of sense.
This is actually a really fun question. This is At Home with Fragrance by our friends of PF Candle Co.
Excellent book.
Big fan of that. So if you are looking to Scentscape, that's a great resource. Just FYI. Yeah. All right. Yeah. If I am seeing some allergy related questions as well, I would recommend one, always consult a physician. If you do have some concerns, you can reach out to the support team, and sometimes we can help you out a little bit with things like specific allergens. But if you know that there is an issue, definitely check with your physician first. We're happy to provide whatever we can to help you with that. But,
Always start with the SDS. SDS will call out some specific ingredients. The allergen statement as well. We're happy to produce allergen statements that have the top 26 most common fragrance allergens. And then beyond that, we will help in any way that we can. But those documents we're always have readily available for you.
Yeah, and we will list on the product pages those safety data sheets, IFRA documents as well, so you know how much to use in different products. And usually if there are any essential oils in that particular blend, which tend to, it's something that people want to know about. So.
Yeah, allergens often come from natural components. Essential oils can be culprits, so we also do call out the essential oils on the product page. But again, if you have we have a more specific request, one of those long fragrance names that you can't pronounce and you'd rather just send us an email and have us check it out, we'd be happy to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like this. I see a warm hug. This, you know what? I'm looking for a fragrance that feels like a hug and is comforting.
I mean,
I
I'd
think
say
both your choices are good.
either of those. Yeah, I get that from both of these. Like I said, with Lavender Creme, I mean, they're both very warm, very comforting. Both kind of oddly nostalgic to me in a way that I can't quite pinpoint.
Yeah. Childhood.
Yeah, I'm partial to the rice milk and oats, if you can't tell. So I think I would definitely call that one a warm hug.
Absolutely. Yeah, these, this launch is really just full of comfort. Most of it's Southern, apparently. So I think we nailed that down,
Yeah.
and the feedback that we've been getting has been pretty good so far. So I'm very excited to get these out for y'all. But yeah, those definitely work out. I did see something about Golden Moon milk, our other milk scent. We have a few milks actually now.
We do. Yeah, they've been trending up this past couple of years.
For the rice milk and oats, for me, I do think it is less drink based than the Golden Mill milk, if that makes sense.
Agreed. And it doesn't have some of the specific spice notes that the Golden Moon milk does.
Yeah, so that is kind of Golden Moon milk. Golden Moon milk is a little bit spicier, a little bit more recognizably a food product.
Agreed.
But also still around that it is very comforting and cozy.
Yeah.
Rice milk and oats, I don't necessarily want to ingest it like I would the Golden Moon milk.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't immediately hit as a gourmand, and it has those gourmand notes absolutely, but it doesn't immediately hit the nose as a gourmand, and I think it's just more complex in its notes than moon milk. Both great, just in slightly different ways.
Yeah. I love a scent out of bottle, but not in a candle. What should I blend it with? I was thinking top notes, but I wanted your opinion. Great question.
Yeah, that is a great question, and it's going to be really specific to the fragrance. But you're right about the top notes. I mean, if you're liking it more out of the bottle than you are in the candle, you're likely partial to those top notes. They tend to be light florals, citruses. So if you look at the note profile and you pinpoint those top notes, maybe start by heightening those. Let's say it's a fragrance that has, lemon, lime in the top, or specific florals in the top. Try blending in either elements or other fragrances that are heavy in those top notes, and that will add add those a little bit more to the burning candle.
Excellent. Yeah. If you don't like something right away, you can usually find something fun to blend it with.
Yeah.
Personally, I really like the blending elements because of that, because they're single notes.
Absolutely.
So you can just add a little bit more of something, and you don't kind of like muddy the waters there.
I'm not here to just pitch blending elements all the time, but I do it anyways, just because
But you do like
I
that.
love blending and I love making my own products, and I think the blending elements have just created this whole new avenue for creating custom fragrances and for attacking problems like that, in that you have a specific need. It can be hard to mix two finished complex fragrances. Whereas if you have a specific need in mind, bringing in the blending elements is just so helpful.
Yeah. And then rice milk. Y'all are interested in the rice milk. Rice milk versus black cardamom and cream. My first kind of thought is that the black cardamom cream is a little bit spicier and a little bit heavier. As my first impression, I do like that fragrance, but it is, to me, just a little bit heavier.
I would agree. Yeah, I think that's a good description, and it's more base heavy, and it is more spicy. It's got more cinnamon, peppercorn to it. I mean they're both great. It's one of my also favorite fragrances. I like that one a lot as well. I'd say this one's just lighter, a little airier, a little more cozy feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's just nice. All of these are lovely. Oh, and you know what? Speak of the devil. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Dana.
I do believe we will. And I think it may be coming up soon.
I've been told it will. Yeah.
Whether or not Kevin knew about it, we will
No,
be.
I knew, but I didn't know if I was allowed to tell anybody or not. But yes, absolutely, we're gonna do a blending live, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. And we do have a lot of fun things coming down the pipeline that I think are going to be really, really great tools for y'all to craft the exact kind of fragrances for your lines that you want to be able to make.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I love blending. I love talking about blending. I mean, that's going to be a really fun one for me. Honestly, one of the hardest parts about this job, especially being up here with you, is not divulging all the information that I'm supposed to keep secret. Like, I just want to tell you guys everything because I'm a customer too, and I make things, and I want to tell you all the secrets, and I'm not allowed. So
we have to keep some
if
secrets.
you want me to continue being here, I have to keep certain things to myself. But Dana said it first, so yes, there's going to be a blending line.
There absolutely will. So make sure you're subscribed so you get those notifications. And on that note, time's up here.
We went a little quick this time.
We did, but we got through everything. Hopefully that was helpful for y'all. But as always, if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out. If I can't answer them, I will go to the right people who can.
We're just down the hall.
We're all here. But I do hope that you really enjoy this particular bit of the fall holiday line, because it is a very, very lovely collection of scents.
Yeah.
Keep a lookout for those blending lives, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Thanks for coming, guys.
See ya.